Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine wanted to be just...
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
All right, it's time. Another week, N4G Radio. This is episode 686 for February 7th, 2022. And on the show this week, we have Anthony,
Hello.
and we have the Womber.
Yep.
And Anthony doesn't have any ping issues
Yeah.
this week. So I don't have to read your responses to everything, which is good. But we do have video games to discuss. There's still a couple of embargoes floating around out there, but we can talk about some video games. So let's just hop right into it. And Anthony, I'll start with you.
I didn't actually get to play much this week. If
Oh,
anything.
okay.
I know, video game podcast, and I'm now, I've played more Assassin's Creed Origins. Yay.
I mean, that's a good video game. What's wrong with that?
It is. Hey, I will say this, I got to the Final Fantasy part, and boy, it was clearly animated by people at Square.
Oh, did you get the Chocobo mount?
Yes, and Arden walks down the stairs, and then Bahamut throws swords and whisks him away back to Final Fantasy land. But it's so the quality of animation. I'm like, yeah, that's the Square Enix animation right there. It stands out like a sore thumb. It is it's a weird thing that they just kind of fit in. What a weird collab between Square and Ubisoft.
I'm amazed that that's still live, like playing the game now, that it's just there.
Yeah, I think I said before, I don't think you can access the Final Fantasy 15 one anymore. Unless they've patched it so it's a permanent thing. That's how Ubisoft did it, though, is that they just patched it in.
Right.
So as long as it's a certain number, it's just there. I've got 4 of the 12 constellations. Drew's like, oh, you just look them up, and I'm like, no, that takes away the joy of finding them. Yeah, right now, there's still another person to kill on the list, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go around and do the other missions. I don't know, the writing in the side missions is way better than I expected it to be. I mean, I heard it was good, but there's I think part of it is just the performance of Bayek. Like, the writing of the character is good, but the performance is really good as well. And there's one where I talked a woman off of jumping to her death, and I thought that was handled pretty well. There was one where this former fighter, I help him basically beat up the people that are demanding that he pay them back. And I'm just really loving it. It's been a long time since I've really found myself engaged with the game this much. I just want to do kind of everything in it. And I'm never super frustrated with the game. I'm glad, because normally I would get frustrated at some point. There has been races, but I haven't been hating what I'm doing. I love the going into an area and kind of moving around, and then having the warning of that the phylacteries are here, and me sitting in the bushes waiting for the guy to pass because he's way too high of a level for me. I'm like 31, but those 9 levels between me and him are gonna mean that he crushes me very quickly. Um, yeah, I'm just really impressed by the whole thing. Like, um, I like the fact that like Bayek is clearly known too, which is a very weird thing to bring up, because it doesn't seem like a necessary point, but like Bayek has been living in this world, and I find with a lot of the Assassin's Creed games I have played, the main character for some reason is not known by many people. And it's like, no, Bayek has a position of power to some extent, and people know who he is or have heard of him. And I'm like, that's great, because they'll just start a conversation. I'm like, clearly there's history here. And then it slowly gets, doled out to me. So I've just been really enjoying everything with that game. I love the combat. I love the exploration. I love Senu. Like, I love just flying Senu ahead just to see what's coming up.
Yeah, that's
way
cool that they kept that going forward.
good, because
Yeah.
that is way better than the Eagle Vision stuff. Eagle Vision was cool when there was a future aspect to that, but as they sort of dropped the modern day aspect, I mean, it's still there. It's still in this game. I've been out of the Animus twice, but because that doesn't have as much relevance to the story, as they realize that the more historical portion is the interesting part, and they killed off Desmond. The bleed through effect, like we don't need the eagle sight, like we don't need detective vision in everything, and they seem to have solved that problem by just holding up on the D-pad, and then it kind of highlights everything around you that you can interact with. Just exploring tombs. Where's my Tomb Raider Assassin's Creed crossover?
God, I felt
Um,
like that happened and it didn't, and I was like,
Yeah, no, it hasn't, and like, I feel like those would be a good crossover, especially where like the new trilogy of Tomb Raider was willing to still keep the magical aspects and the fake history, like those two would fit together perfectly. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, so that's where I end up spending most of my time, and there's still stuff I've got on the back burner, but it's just like weeks have been kind of up and down here, not even from work, but just like with the snow and trying to get stuff done. Yeah, it's just been kind of wrecking. I'm sure you got the snowstorm too, Ken.
yeah, and Wombat too. We got the snow. Stupid fucking snow.
Stupid fucking snow. The snowblower stopped working.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, great, cool, shovel time.
Yeah, I got stuck trying to get in my driveway because I didn't get it all cleared out. I'm in the middle of the street, just spinning my wheels back and forth.
I got stuck so I park on the street, and like I got stuck last night getting home. Like, it just slightly too much into the road. I couldn't get out.
The nice thing here is that it's already going to be almost 40 degrees today, so this shit should melt pretty quick.
I don't know where we're at here, so
But yeah.
But that's it for me. I know, really interesting.
Yeah, well, no, it is. Like,
2022, everybody playing a game from what, 2017?
I mean, you know.
Oh, just wait.
Oh. Ryan's revisiting Legacy of Kain, the original.
No, you got to go back further than that.
Oh
God,
no!
what was is there even like a modern way to play a Kane game right now, except for PC?
PC is it.
Man, that sucks. Like, how is there not a Kane game on one of these modern consoles? Like, that just seems like a travesty.
Yeah. I mean, even if they're not going to make new ones, they could at least remaster the old ones.
Yeah, like,
Put 'em
fucking,
out.
you know, I joke about it all the time, but fucking Ty the Tasmanian, fucking Cow the Kangaroo is coming back
I know.
That one is weirder because I don't know who even owns the rights. Like, at least with the tie, it was owned by, or the rights reverted back to the developer. I don't know who owns Kale the Kangaroo, and like they're remaking a game, or they're making a new game in a new style. It's fucking weird.
Dude, we're getting a Power Slave remaster. We're getting a Rise of the Triad remaster that are going to be playable on modern consoles, but fucking Raziel and Kane are not playable on any modern console.
We also got Strife remake.
Of all fucking things.
Yeah.
Dude, that game I sent you,
Strife
Anthony,
is so good though.
the Humans.
Strife is good.
You can play the Humans on modern consoles from Pico Interactive.
Yeah, but Pico buys rights to games that no one gives a shit about and then resells them. I'm pretty sure they started off as one of the people that were like buying like, I don't want to say bootleg because it sounds like something, but like games that were not official for like Genesis or whatever, and then translating them and selling them.
I really need a Legacy of Kain collection.
They own Bleem. Pico bought the name Bleem. Why? I don't know.
I was gonna say, what would you put that on now? Like, would you?
They're putting it on products that they're going to be selling on PC, and it's going to be like a storefront too. I don't know why you would try to do a storefront.
But I mean, for what?
In this day and age,
Like, what do you
for
play?
the games, man.
You gonna play Gran Turismo 1 and Metal Gear Solid on your PC again?
Yeah, that's right.
Gran Turismo.
Bleemcast.
Oh yeah, Bleemcast.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know, man. I went, that's dumb, and then my brain went off and started focusing on other things.
I don't blame you. Like, I remember Bleem. I remember selling Bleem.
Like, Pico are the people that were like, oh, there's somebody found a prototype of Glover, and Pico tried to take it down because they thought they had ownership, but it's like, you own the IP, and like, but you don't, like, people were just uploading it for preservation, and they were trying to take it down or whatever. It was very weird. I don't get it. I don't get their business model.
I feel like we need to have a song, and it's like, if you want to be my Glover, you got to get on my hands.
How many decades have you been holding on to that?
Dude, I've got an archive of bad old jokes, and you just got to find the right opportunity to play.
That's
them.
right. Now, the thing about re-releasing Blood Omen, the original one, on a new system is the game would be like 10 hours shorter because it wouldn't have load times.
That's true. I booted that up on my Polymega recently, and I forgot. Like, there's even like a pretty substantial load when you're switching screens.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
going in and out of a building. It loads. Yeah, it's tough to play now.
Yeah, and it's very dark, so they'd have to Doom 64 it to brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what? It should be there. We should have Soul Reaver 1 and 2, Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen 2, like all of that, just one package.
Defiance. Yeah, all together. Agreed.
Fucking Square.
But especially since none of those, other than Defiance and Blood Omen 2, none of them were on the same system.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the original Blood Omen was a PlayStation and a PC game, right? The original Soul Reaver was PlayStation and Dreamcast.
Yep.
Soul Reaver 2 was PlayStation 2.
Was it only PlayStation 2? I thought it came out on Dreamcast.
I think so. The second one?
I
don't remember the second one coming out on Dreamcast, but maybe it did.
I'm gonna look that up.
I'm already ahead of you, Ken.
And then Blood Omen 2 was Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Yep.
So you did get that one on the same system. And then Defiance was Xbox and probably PlayStation 2, but I played it.
Soul Reaver 2 was PlayStation 2 and Windows only.
Oh my god, that series is all over the place.
Blood Omen 2, PlayStation 2, Xbox, Windows, GameCube.
Oh, that's right. There was a GameCube version.
Yeah,
Holy
forgot
shit.
about that.
Defiance was PlayStation, Xbox, Windows.
So GameCube only got one,
Randomly.
some
Yeah.
random game. Dreamcast got one random game.
Yeah, so Nintendo got the worst one.
Yeah, that's true.
As the only one they got.
I guess PlayStation got the most by far.
Yeah, for sure.
Still, those games need to come back. They need to at least be available to play somewhere other than the PC. Because the PC versions of some of those games, like, they don't even have great controller support. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, we're still on Anthony, aren't we?
Oh, I think he just had Assassin's Creed. I think he's done.
Oh, okay, you're done.
I'm
Well,
done.
do you want me to go ahead and go? I know you normally introduce me, Ken, but
Oh, no, go ahead. Dude, this is the Wombat with his video game of the week.
So speaking of stuff that's old as crap, I've spent my week when I've had game time playing Dragon Warrior 3 on the NES.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, you win.
So, I mentioned last week that I was having an existential crisis about what version to play, and I decided, when in doubt, just play the original. So I'm playing the original on NES, not the Japanese original because I don't speak Japanese, but the North American NES original. And that game is like its predecessor, an improvement on the second one, just like the second one was an improvement on the first. There's a lot of sort of cool stuff here for a game that originally came out in Japan in 1988. You've got you've got a party again. It's not, just a single hero. And but instead of the party members being fixed characters in the world like they are in the first game, you actually get your entire party as soon as the game starts, and you can pick party members that you want, and you can also create party members of any of the, I think, 5 or 6 classes that are in the game. It's got a really cool class system in that you can start out with so a pilgrim is their version of a healer, like a cleric, or a mage, a wizard, and you can level them up and level them up and level them up, and they learn a whole bunch of spells. And then when you get them to level 20, you can change any character in the game to any other class, and they'll retain anything that they've learned up to that point. So you could take a pilgrim, the healer, get them up to level 30-some, learn basically all the healing spells that you would want, and then turn them into a soldier. They do start back at level 1 again, but if you only do it with one character at a time, you can still fight big enough enemies that you can level them back up pretty quickly. And they'll now be able to do damage and wear equipment like a soldier would, but they still know all their healing spells. So you can do some pretty cool stuff with that towards the end of the game. It's the map in this one is actually pretty cool. There's actually spoiler alert for a 30-plus-year-old game. There's actually 2 maps in it. There's what they call the Dark World, which is spoiler alert, basically the map from the original 2 games. And then there's the normal overworld that you spend most of the game in. And the normal overworld, if you look at a map of it, it's basically just our world. Like there's North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa. And so they've got some place names that are similar to place names in the real world. Like there's an equivalent of Rome and Japan and England and that kind of stuff, which is kind of neat. It's a prequel to the first 2 games, so you're actually playing as the character that the heroes in the first game and the second game are descended from. And other than that, it's your basic Dragon Quest game. You're looking for in this game orbs instead of the crests it was in the second game. You got to travel the world doing a whole bunch of different sort of side quests to collect these orbs so that you can take down the big bad at the end of the game. But yeah, it's very, very good and worth a play if you're into old RPGs. I haven't played the remakes. Yeah, I will say it has the same problem the other two games have on the NES in that it is kind of grindy, although it's better than the second game and infinitely better than the first game with respect to the grind. But it does still have a grind to it. My understanding is the remakes sort of fix that, so it's not as grindy. And you still have to deal with incredibly limited inventory. The good news is they now have a box where you can store stuff in the original town. And most importantly, the biggest quality of life improvement it has over the first two games is you have fast travel. So your hero and the mage have a spell called Return. In the original games, that spell would just send you back to whatever town you had most recently saved in. But in this game, you actually can pick from a list of every town, just about every town you visited. So it's fast travel before fast travel was a thing. And that makes things much, much easier. So there's some quality of life improvements here compared to the first two games in the series. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this run through these games. I had played the first game when I was a kid and had a lot of nostalgia attached to it. So, but I hadn't played the other ones other than, I played Dragon Quest VIII, and I played 11, obviously, although I haven't finished it yet. So it's nice going back through these older games, especially the ones on the NES, because even though there's a lot of improvements, they're still graphically very much like the original game, which means even though I'm in the third game of the series that I haven't played before, it's still pretty nostalgia heavy for me because the graphics look obviously a lot like the first game. So, yeah. So after I finish this, it'll be on to 4, although I'll probably take a break because by the time I finish this, it'll probably be getting pretty close to Horizon launch. So, and that'll be what I'm spending my time on at that point.
All right.
And that's it. I didn't play anything else.
I mean,
So,
that's a big game, so
it's a big game, yes.
it's crazy. So Anthony thought he was playing an old game, and Wombat said, "Hold my beer."
Hold my beer.
All right. Well, I guess I can talk about one of the big games. Finally, which I wish Drew was here. I think he's played more. So what happened was I got 2 big games for review, and I was kind of trying to juggle them, and I just couldn't keep up with it. So they sent us another code for Dying Light. I sent that over to Drew. He's going to hammer through that while I focus on the other game. So I played, a pretty substantial amount of Dying Light. But I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to go through. So I'm also playing Power Slave, which I can't talk about. And I'm also playing Stranger's Wrath, which is hitting Xbox and PlayStation 4 next week. But I won't talk about that. I will talk about these other indie games I checked out. I checked out Dreamscaper, which is on Game Pass. It's kind of like a top-down like action RPG where you've got like a melee attack, you've got like a ranged attack, and the premise of the game is like you're in these dream sequences, and that's kind of how it delves out its roguelike stuff. Is like you fall into a dream, you go through these dungeons, you need to finish the dungeon, and then if you die, you start back over, that kind of deal. It plays fine. I don't know that I would say that it's got like a hook that keeps you playing. Like roguelike games are so hard that if you don't have a hook, like the gameplay being like just superb, like it just I don't enjoy the genre anyway, but if you don't pull that part of it, then I don't really get back into it as much. So the next game is Dyna Bomb, which if you looked at it like in a picture or something, you'd be like, oh, this looks like a Mega Man clone, and it is totally not. It's like a mobile game, and it's really just like, here's a set of 25 levels, solve this level, move to the next level, solve this level, move to the next level. And it just, I don't know, it's fine, it's just not great. Another mobile port is Croc's World Construction Kit 2, which is just Croc's World, which is also a mobile game. It's just a pretty, straightforward platforming game, but this one has like level creation. I will say that like trying to go online and find levels for this thing it's a pretty barren wasteland, but it's fine. It's nothing to write home about. The Sealed Ampule is the latest from Playism, and it is a like grid-based action game where you're going through a dungeon, you fight enemies, you collect like upgrade pieces, and then you go back. This game is very fan servicey. You go back to the girl's room and like you can talk to her and things like that. It's yeah. And then I played Webbed, which is a spider-based 2D side-scrolling platformer, and that game is actually kind of rad. Like, you can press the right bumper to spin your web and swing around. You can build bridges with your web, and also the spider has fucking lasers that he can shoot enemies with, and it's got like this pixel art style, and it plays really well, and I think it's kind of a rad little game. But if you're afraid
fucking crow.
Yeah, you shoot the crow with the lasers.
Can you go back to the spider's bedroom afterwards and talk to him?
No, unfortunately, no. You cannot. But it is a rescue. So, like, the game starts off with you and your boyfriend, like, spinning a web together and running through the forest. The crow steals your boyfriend. You gotta go rescue him. So that's the premise of the game.
I've seen this only in, like, screenshots that were, like, probably not, like, blown up. I'm looking at their Steam page. Holy shit, the spider's adorable.
Yeah, no, the visuals on it are really good, and it plays really well. So if you don't have a spider phobia, this is a game to play.
She's doing the little dance where they put the legs up in the air.
Yeah, you can hold the left trigger and they dance.
What's the name of this game again?
Webbed.
Webbed.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a cool game. I ain't gonna lie, it's a cool game. And most of my time has been spent playing Horizon, but I can't talk about that till not next week. I'll have to check the time, because I think the embargo is the 14th. So that would be the episode for next week, but I don't know what time I'd have to hold it till to talk about it. So I'll look into that, but I did play a handful of hours of Dying Light 2. And
hold on, can I? From how you've described it, it sounds like your response is,
I mean, yeah, and when I say I've played a handful of hours, that really kind of speaks to the issues that I have with the game. So, if you played the first game, you know that it's probably one of the more interesting zombie style video games that have come along in quite a while. And it's an old game at this point. I had forgotten how old that first game actually is.
That's 2014?
I mean, it was a while back.
I'm pretty sure it's 2014.
Yeah, it's
like
probably
February.
Yeah, it's probably quite a bit old. And what was neat about it was that it had a really good movement system in the parkour system. It had, so 7 years old. It came out in 2015, so it's 7 years old. It had like this day-night cycle that was during the day you'd run around, you'd do your collectathon, you'd kill zombies, you'd progress the story. Then at nighttime,
you would use the zombies as like, because they were all that generic.
You just push them to the side.
Yeah, you literally just push. You're right. You just push them. You could smash them into pieces, but yeah, like you could just push them aside because they were slow and kind of zombies.
Yeah. So it was
and
like
then
at nighttime.
The guy would come over the radio. Good night and good luck.
Yeah, and the nighttime in that game, like there's a handful of games that you can count on one hand where the night is truly a terror, and Dying Light was one of those games. And it was just an interesting concept, an interesting take on like the open world games and zombie genre games. So when they started talking about the second one, it was exciting. It's like, all right, well, we're going to get a bigger, badder version of this. And really, we just got a bigger version of the first game. So Dying Light 2 suffers from the fact that it wants to be like the longest game in history. I know there was the tweet, oh, it'll take you 500 hours to do everything. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do in this game, and truly the tutorial is just painstakingly long. And it goes through everything you can do. So everything in the first game is back. Like the crafting, the weapon system, the colored loot, the day-night time cycles. And then they throw in, these things called windmills where you can climb and unlock new areas in the second game. And nighttime is no longer just like, oh, this is a good place for you to kind of grind the harder zombies. There are now events that only happen at night. And there are multiple ones that you can go do. The upgrade tree is enormous, and they really slow down your progression by, like in the first game, your parkour leveled up gradually. Like it was never not fun and then became fun. In Dying Light 2, the parkour at the beginning is painful. Like your stamina allows you to climb like 2 rungs, and then you're out.
I'm sorry, hold on. Stamina?
Yeah. You have to have stamina.
That is not a thing. That is new.
Yes. So when you're climbing,
fucking why?
You have a stamina bar, and at the beginning of the game, I fell so many times because I ran out of stamina.
Can I just say that no game is made better by a stamina bar? None. Like,
No.
You want to know? Ryan had an issue with the breaking weapons in I have an issue with the stamina. Now, I get it with the Zelda, like, climbing, yes, sure, like, stamina. But he can't run all the time because he runs out of stamina. It's like, fucking... It's this constant thing where it's like every game fucking needs one, apparently.
Are you sure there wasn't stamina in the first game with the combat?
Combat, maybe, but not climbing.
Okay, because I know that the stamina
Like,
bar in the second one is combat and climbing.
Hold on.
There's a blue bar that you can upgrade for the.
If let me put it this way: if there was a Dying Light, if there's a stamina bar in the original Dying Light, it doesn't give you anything, like, it doesn't cause any problems. You don't fall. You might have to run slower.
I fall.
Okay, yeah. So there is. Sorry. There is, in fact, so apparently there is but it is only running. You don't fall.
Oh yeah, I definitely fell. I fell in the tutorial. Like, there's in a parkour game, there's always a tutorial at the beginning where you're chasing somebody, like, hey, follow me, and
Yeah.
you fall. Like, I fell twice during that. Because I was looking for the next rung to jump to, and I didn't see it right away, and it literally only gives you enough stamina to perfectly do the climb.
So in the first game, it was combat, which you are correct. I totally forgot about combat having the swinging of the weapon, and stamina while running. But it's the sprinting that causes the stamina drop, not the climbing. And like that's where I'm like, I just don't understand that. It's kind of like when Ukulele did it too. I don't do that.
Oh, also, did I
Not
mention
fun.
that, like, the slide is an upgrade that you get way later in the game?
I can't recall. So that's the thing. I've heard a lot of people talk about the skill tree. The skill tree in the first game definitely had some combat mechanics that were hidden behind that, and it did have a couple of like the parkour aspects locked off. I want to say if the slide was part of it, it was like the first thing you unlocked, or like really early on. And I know that at one point that is how you can get the grapple hook early.
Yeah,
But
no.
I don't recall it being an issue ever. It just made things easier. It didn't bar you out of scenarios, other than, like, again, the grappling hook, which is either a story aspect or a leveling up aspect. But
The first upgrade you get is a higher jump. And it's so imperative that you have that higher jump. I cannot believe that it's like a teachable moment in that game.
your leg muscles are now super strong.
Yeah, so like and gaining points to upgrade is It's a slog, man. Like at first I was excited because it does the more you do something, the more experience you get. So like as you're jumping through the city, you can see like these little numbers ticking up like
The Elder Scrolls method.
yeah, so like you'll see this little like a foot with a wing on it, and that's telling you that it's upgrading your parkour, like you're getting parkour XP. And then when you fight enemies, it'll give you like combat XP, and then you can use those for the two trees. But my god, it takes forever to level those up. You can find what are called inhibitors, which are basically like upgrade points. But in order to get those, you got to run special missions, and most of them take place at night, if I remember. At nighttime now, the chases are also events, and they're leveled. So, like, as you're being chased, it'll say chase level 1 out of 4, chase level 2 out of 4. And basically, you're just running and doing parkour to get away from the enemy. Very early on in the game, they also introduce a mechanic that I am also not a fan of, which is what I like to call the Far Cry 2 mechanic, where you get something that is constantly, hurting your character that you have to manage. So I don't know if I want to stay spoiler or not, but there's a reason why the game is called Dying Light 2: Stay Human. I just leave it at that. Because I don't know how sensitive people are to spoilers about a fucking zombie game, but whatever. But yeah, you have to manage that. And then there's the story, which is like this huge open world city with all these different factions that you can go and you can side with. You can do these side missions. Like I said, there are windmill towers that you can climb. There are platform puzzles that you use to unlock different areas of the map.
That sounds, outside of the platforming, the bunch of factions sounds just like Far Cry 2. I bet they're all not good people.
I mean, nobody in these post-apocalyptic zombie-infested worlds are good people. And I'm gonna be real honest with you, I am not digging the story like at all. Like they keep having these like flashbacks to when Aiden was a child, and you learn kind of how he became what he is, and they're just not that interesting. Like I haven't found interesting characters in this game. And even Aiden.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What? How does this relate to the first game? Like,
I mean, it's
is there
Aiden.
any connection?
He was a pilgrim, and they're in a zombie world. Like that's.
It's the same main character?
Yeah.
No.
It's Aiden.
No. That Aiden Pierce is Watch Dogs.
Oh,
You
wait a
play
minute.
as. Give me a second. What's his name? Kyle Crane is the main character
Why do they keep
in
calling
the
him
first
Aiden?
game. Because it's not the same person.
But is it voiced by Roger Craig
Yep.
Smith? So both characters are voiced by the same dude?
Yes, but they're not the same character apparently.
What the fuck? I couldn't have told you the dude's name from the first game to save my life. I just knew he was voiced by Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah, they call him Crane.
And in the
For
second
most of
game,
it.
you're playing as a different character, but he's voiced by the same. What the fuck is wrong with people?
This game I don't know what the fuck this game is anymore. Like, you're describing something that's not.
I
Doesn't
swear to
sound
God
like
it was
Dying
the
Light.
same person just because of the voice. I can't remember all these video game protagonist names that I never see.
So it is, according to Wikipedia, it is set 22 years after Dying Light and stars a new protagonist named Aiden Caldwell.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm reading more of this. I don't like this. So the first game was really good because it was like a conspiracy that you have accidentally ended up in. Like, you were part of the conspiracy, but because you botched a parachute jump, like, you were bitten and now have to just blend in with survivors. And you're talking to these people on the outside world who are sort of manipulating the events within. And it's fascinating that way because you're legitimately trying to survive. So you're trying to help these people who are also in this shitty predicament. But you're also trying to do the job that you were sent to do. And that was really interesting. I don't give a shit if like the story is this is just how things are now. Like
he's trying to find his sister is like the main crux of the beginning of the game. And that's why you keep seeing these flashbacks to them in this like facility, which I don't want to spoil too much about what's going on there, but like they're in this facility and they're doing testing on kids.
Of course they are. This feels very like we needed a sequel, so let's just write something.
Again, the stories in these games aren't really why I'm here. Like I wasn't there for the story in the first game. It was a nice catalyst.
Yeah. It's funny because Terrence and I were talking about Days Gone. And like Days Gone worked because the character is there during the outbreak and it's only a couple of years later.
I can't think of Days Gone without thinking about the "Ride Me Like Your Motorcycle" line.
Some things are better forgotten, Ken.
I can't forget that. That stands out to me so much.
I don't know. Just the more I like all the nightmares of like the development cycle of this game, and the weird changes that they seem to have made to it, and like the really weird leveling up system. The fact, I know this is really, really lame because I like the composer that they have working on this, which is Livier. I don't know how to pronounce that.
That was you nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
But the guy that did the Remember Me soundtrack and the Streets of Rage 4 soundtrack and the soundtrack to Greedfall, like Plague Tale, Innocence, Chernobyl, like Vampire, that's all him. Get Even, that guy. He's the one that's doing the composer on this one, but the fucking first game's soundtrack by Paolo Blasiak, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. Fuck, it was so good. That weird synth, like John Carpenter, like synth music.
Had kind of an 80s horror vibe to it.
Oh, that first game is like, the first game is perfect because like I didn't like horror games, and that game was the perfect balance for me to get in.
Yeah, I don't think this game is going to be this game is something I think like Wombat would be into because there's just so much to do in it, and it's like there's so many pieces to unravel.
There's so much to do in the first game.
But no, this game makes the first game look tiny.
I don't know if that's a good thing. That first game's a lot too.
No, that first game is a lot, but it's not overwhelming like this game is. This game is like that is the best word I would use to describe it, is overwhelming. It took me I think 3 hours to get to the open world. And once you get to the open world, it's just like, here's all this. It's like Assassin's Creed map style shit. Like, here is all this stuff you can go do. And, like, they're still popping tutorials constantly. This is a new trend. I don't know if you've noticed this with video games, where, like, when you encounter a new kind of thing that you do, it pops up a screen with, like, 3 screens, and it says, here's this new mechanic. Here is 3 paragraphs of text about it. Deal with it.
Does it show you 3? So when you say 3, is it like 3 panels like across?
Yeah.
And then they have like little pictures underneath or little videos underneath?
Yeah, that kind of
those fucking suck.
That is constant in Dying Light. And also fire the motherfucker that is still building main menus with a fucking movable cursor with the left analog stick. Knock that shit off. Like, I don't want that shit in my video game.
Assassin's Creed Origins does the same thing.
All the Assassin's Creed games do it. Destiny does it. It's fucking terrible.
Destiny was the one that I remembered it happening on, and I went, whoa.
Don't do that shit. Up, down, up, down. That's all you need to move through the menus in a fucking title screen.
Well, for PC, PC has fucking buttons too.
Yeah, PC has buttons. And just make it work. Just use the D-pad, motherfucker. Anyway, we're Yeah, I don't
love it.
love it. I would like to play co-op with people, but I don't think anybody's going to get into this because that was what made the first game super fun, was playing with other people.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't. The thing is you've got to go through the fucking prologue to get to the open world to play with other people, and it's just like, man, once you get the upgrades, the game becomes fun. But man, they're locked behind so much gameplay before you get them.
The first game stops being a horror game when you're playing in co-op.
Absolutely.
Because you can just turn around and beat those fast zombies to death.
Yeah. And then in this game, obviously, you've got to manage your... I'll just say you get this little bracelet, and the bracelet keeps track of things. And if it goes bad, then you got to get in some light and heal up.
Just to sell people on the first game, there's a moment where I took a swing at a zombie and it screamed like a normal person. And I went, what? And then the zombie attacked. Like, the game's AI was really good.
That first game is incredible, and they're still supporting it. You should probably just go play that one if you haven't.
Oh, the bridge mission at night.
Oh god, that was
zombies below, and it's just like okay.
You hear the bridge, like the sound design in that first game was so good. Like when you're on that bridge and you're climbing up top, and you hear it creaking, and you hear the wind blowing the bridge back and forth.
And it's raining, and it's dark, and you're just like, fuck this.
Man, that first game was so good. I'm really disappointed that the sequel is not.
I have a feeling a lot of people that worked on that first game aren't there anymore. Like, I can't confirm. I'd have to do some research to confirm my suspicion, but it's just like, it's such a long time in between.
I'll tell you what, though, this game sold like fucking crazy.
Did it? Well, listen, I'm not like upset that like Techland does well.
No. Their tech is very good. Like the game is a sound video game.
Techland is very good.
Yeah, Techland's tech. Techland tech. But I saw the sales numbers from Friday because the game launched on Friday, and it's up there, man. It's a lot. This game did really, really well. I'm happy for them. I just, man, it's weird.
It also helps being the first game, like
the first big game of the year. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also
ready for something.
Yeah, you're right. But like, goddamn, what isn't in February?
Yeah.
But if you moved Dying Light from now till after those games, I don't think it does as well.
No, probably not, unless you put it in that window where like there's nothing coming out, like May or June or something like that. Like you put it anywhere else, it doesn't do very well. February has like become almost second Christmas for video games, and it's clear. Because I mean, we've got this week, we've got Horizon, I think next week. Then you got Elden Ring, you got King of Fighters, like. There's a ton of shit coming out in February. Sifu is launching today, as we talk about this. That game is out, which we have a review for up on the site. Go read it. Terrence really loved that game, and he made a video review, which we might be doing some more of those in the future, and I'm going to post that probably tomorrow. And his video review made me want to play that game, although he talks about how fucking hard it is, and it makes me like not want to play that game. So I don't know. That game looks rad as shit, though. I'm gonna start the petition for easy mode for Sifu. Can I do that? Can I start that hashtag on Twitter? No? Okay.
I'm not with you on that. No.
I like easy modes in video games. I'm fucking too old to get good. Sorry. But yeah, no, that's something I played this week. It's not what I played the most of. I can't talk about that for another week. So, but that's it. That's all I got. So now we're going to talk about what is coming out this week, which there's a couple things that kind of jumped out to me on these lists. We'll start with the Series X and PlayStation 5 stuff. We've got I think it's the last expansion for Far Cry 6. The Joseph
Yeah, that'd be the last of them, at least of the three villains that they're
Yeah,
doing.
because the Blood Dragon's already out. The three villains are now out, and the Rambo and Danny Trejo ones are out. So I think this is it, right? I don't think they
I want to
announced.
say you're right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they announced any more DLC for Far Cry 6. So this is probably the last pack. Ollie Ollie World is out this week, which we also have a review up on the side for. Drew reviewed that. He seemed to really enjoy it. I think it's on Game Pass, so...
I wish I liked the Ollie Ollie games.
Me too! I've tried both of the first two, and I just couldn't get into them.
Yeah, I don't. I was like, yep, this ain't for me.
And I love Tony Hawk. That's the other weird thing.
I liked... So there was a little game in WarioWare, the first one that you could unlock, where it was 9-volt skateboarding, and you had like time jumps and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that looks cool. And then I tried Ollie Ollie World, or Ollie Ollie, and I was like, yep, I don't really care for this.
Yeah. I wish I liked Ollie Ollie World, or all the Ollie Ollie games, but I don't know. Besiege. Break. Go ahead.
I've played Besiege. That's, you build like tools to siege.
It's coming to Game Pass, so I'm gonna try it out, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's a physics game where you have to build machines that destroy buildings.
So I'll probably enjoy it for like an hour and then never play it again.
I don't even think you'll enjoy it that long. Is that the part that you walked away from Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts and was like, this, but a full fucking game built off of that without the platforming?
Oh no, I played probably about 10 to 12 hours of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I enjoyed building the
I
vehicles.
enjoyed building and then being able to drive them around.
Yes.
But not... You don't really you do drive it around, but it's not the same. It was more fun to watch people that were really good at Besiege make some really out there shit on how to kill people. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's on Game Pass, so I'll try it out. The next in the Recharged series, Breakout Recharged, is out this week. I might pick that one up. Like, I wasn't killing on the Centipede, the Millipede, but Breakout is my jam. I love a good game of Breakout, so... Crossfire X is finally out this week. I'm so confused what's available on Game Pass for this game, so I guess I'm just going to have to wait till it comes out, because the only thing I want to play in Crossfire X is the campaign mode. I have zero interest in jumping online in that game. So, if that's the part that's not in Game Pass, I guess maybe I won't play it, but we'll see when it launches. Edge of Eternity is finally coming out. That's that JRPG style that's like very similar to like the old Final Fantasies. Like, sorry, not the old Final Fantasies. They're old now, but like the PS2 era Final Fantasies. So, Kung Fu Kickball, Nape Retroverse Collection, whatever the hell that is, Unbound Worlds Apart, and Ziggurat 2. I remember the first Ziggurat. It was an interesting game. PlayStation 5, a lot of the same stuff, but we do have Sifu dropping this week, El Gancho, and that's it for the new consoles. Let's take a look at PS4 and Xbox One. We've got a lot of the same stuff. We have Power Slave Exhumed, Rise of the Third Power, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD, and Scottfold Shrouded Insanity.
So that is, I'm glad that actually is coming out this week and not just like a physical release that week. That's a weird ass series that like one of them's a Metroidvania. Yeah. So which one is it? Shrouded Insanity.
Shrouded Insanity.
So it's like a sort of like bird's eye view or Zelda looking, but it's Dark Souls, but with like a Castlevania sort of aesthetic, which I guess is Dark Souls. Really, why the fuck would I say that? And then like there's Usurper and Into the Fray and Moonless Night and Night's End. These are all PC games, and one of them plays like Castlevania, and like I think it's one guy that makes them. They're pretty impressive.
I'm gonna take a look at this now that you're talking about it. Okay, so the artwork is
Like-
very Bloodborne-y, very Dark Souls-y.
But if you look at the official artwork, it's always very Castlevania.
Oh yeah, like this picture of this dude sitting in the throne looks like fucking Alucard.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of them's like a twin stick shooter.
So is this Dark Soulsy or is this like Castlevania?
So, Shrouded Insanity is like Dark Soulsy but 2D.
Oh, so I'm out, unfortunately.
It's a like here's the description: survival horror game inspired by Resident Evil 1, Dark Souls, Eternal Darkness. I've only played the Castlevania one of these series, so set in an alternative historical setting of 1897 Jalk Empire of Britannia. Blah 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 blah.
I mean, it looks
this is the
cool.
first part of the Scoutfold game series. Just trying to figure out if, like, I mean, if you want, Ken, I have the PC version because I bought like the whole series because it was dirt cheap, and I can let you know.
Yeah, it may be in my indie pack this week, so we'll see.
Okay, well, I'll let you know regardless. I'll install it.
Yeah,
now.
definitely let me know, because if it's like Castlevania, like if it's just a side-scrolling action game, I'm totally into it. I'm totally playing a game.
The first one is not. The first one is top down.
Well, I
but
mean,
it's
this
like
one coming out this week.
No, that one is the top down one.
Not from the screenshots I'm looking at.
Shrouded Insanity?
Yeah, it looks like it's a side-scroller.
No.
I'm looking at...
Shrouded.
Yeah, I'm looking at screenshots. It looks like a side-scroller. It definitely does not look like... It looks like a side-scroller to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's Shrouded Insanity right there.
Yeah, it looks like a side-scroller. Is that not a side-scroller?
It's not. It's like a Zelda game. I don't know how many times I can say it. It's like a Zelda game. It's top down, sort of like angled, but it's.
Oh, okay. So you move up and down, left and right. I got
Yes,
you.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
There is
the
another
screenshot
one
just
though that
looks
is
like
literally.
it's side-scroller.
Hold on, let me see here. This is the one that I picked up the bundle for. This is Usurper, and that is the side-scrolling one.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell the difference between the two.
Because, well, I mean, you know what? Give some credit to the one guy that made it. All of them are consistent and different types of games. Like, the art style is consistent throughout.
Okay. Well, if it's in the indie games, I'll check it out. Otherwise, let me know if it's cool.
Yeah.
Xbox, a lot of the same games are coming out as well, but we also have Ammo Pigs, Cocked and Loaded. Because why not? I think that's the only new game on there that's not on the other list. So let's go to the Switch. Whew. All right, I gotta dig in because these lists are always long. We got Jumping Helix Ball, Mania Fish, Pirates Gold, Heroes of Loot 2, Unstrung Legacy, Death End Request 2. All right, Home Sheep Home Farmageddon Party Edition Code in a Box Edition.
I'm the code in the box.
YouTuber's Life 2, Zoria the Celestial Sisters, Action Arcade Wrestling, which is really cool. It was out on PS4 and Xbox a while back. It's a cool game. Backbone, Letters, a Written Adventure. Shocking. About an Elf, Blips, Castle Morahisa, Cellular Harvest, Death Park, Derpy Conga, fuck. Dino Galaxy Tennis. I kind of want to play that, whatever the fuck that is. Egglia Rebirth, Grapple Dog, Inua, A Story of Ice and Time, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue Cloud version, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix Cloud version.
Spend all your fucking money on the fucking things that you don't get to keep.
Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind Cloud version, and Kingdom Hearts Integra Masterpiece for Cloud.
Fuck all those names. I hate the Kingdom Hearts naming conventions.
I'm not even halfway through this day. Kittens and Yarn, Noel the Mortal Fate.
Sung to the tune of Peaches and Cream. Kittens and yarn. Sorry.
boy, digging out a President of the United States of America reference is a little rough in the year of our
No,
Lord 2022.
No. No, that's Peaches.
Oh, sorry. What's Peaches and Cream?
Peaches and Cream is by 112.
Who the fuck is 112?
Over an R&B group from the early 2000s.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Okay, so I looked up Derpy
Actually, probably
Conga.
late 90s.
Fuck. I don't know
Anyway,
shit.
sorry.
I have looked up Derpy Conga because that name was something. It is I'm gonna say it's like a 3D platformer, sort of. But the idea is that you are slowly getting more people holding hands in a chain and using, like, the chain. So not only do you have to navigate the chain through the level, because once they're attached, I don't think they can unattach. And then using them to make formations to solve puzzles. Like, I watched them loop into a circle around a tree and then pull themselves back and then shoot all of them across a ridge once the tree snapped back.
I mean, we're only one step removed from the Human Centipede video game, right?
No, that's clearly like a Tamagotchi sim.
Oh, come on. Oh.
You have to feed them.
What if it was a Pokemon simulator and the tagline was "Gotta snatch 'em all"? You know.
Are you glad with the nothing you got there?
That's what I expect. It would have been funnier if I'd have said "Gotta snack 'em all," but you know. Anyway, I'm moving on.
I actually think that might have been a tagline on like Pokemon treats that were sold back in the 90s.
What was that crazy game that came out from Bandai Namco where you were just tasked with eating everything? You know what I'm talking about, right? Where the old man's like, go eat it. Go eat all the fucking shit, you know?
Are you sure it was Bandai Namco?
I thought it was.
I'm just gonna type in.
Wombat's broken over there. It's like, what the fuck?
Hold on. I'm gonna type in "old man says go eat all the shit" in your Google search bar.
Game where you eat all the shit.
It's very like colorful and god damn it, I think it was on the Wii.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was literally like the old man. It reminded me of Katamari, where you had like this overseer person, and it was this like old man. He's like, go eat all this stuff, and like the more stuff you ate, the bigger you got. And oh man, what the hell was that game?
Hold on, the Munchables.
Is it the Munchables?
You are like free roaming 3D platforming game.
Yes, this is it.
And it's
on the
fucking
Wii.
Bandai Namco. What?
I told
How
you.
the fuck did you remember the Munchables?
I told you. I
What
knew.
a weird. No, that's the weirdest pull I think I heard anybody's had in a long time. Remember that Wii game? No.
Oh shit.
Do I have to track it down now? Clearly.
All right. Where was I? What was the last game I said? I don't even fucking remember. Was it Kittens and Yarn?
Sorry.
Oh.
Oh man, now there's gonna be a whole bunch of people go out and look up Peaches and Cream by 112. I think there was a version that had Snoop on it too. So
I mean, what isn't Snoop on? Truthfully. I mean, he's gonna be at
no
Super
Big
Bowl
Show anymore.
He's gonna be at Super Bowl next week.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. Ocean's Heart, whatever that is. There's some good ones on here, but Wombat, let's go back. Pajama Sam and Pajama Sam 2. Pajama Sam, No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside. And Pajama Sam 2, Thunder and Lightning Aren't So Frightening.
Crazy how all these PC games from the mid to early 90s are getting a comeback, and so many games that deserve a comeback as well.
I was going to say, we get Pajama Sam, but we don't get Legacy of Kain. It's fucking injustice in the world.
We need the Eagle Eye Adventures to come back. Talk about a deep pull. There's a deep pull.
That is a deep pull.
I don't know Pajama Sam. Like I was never the person that played that. I remember people playing it. That was just never my thing.
Yeah, the big red PC boxes, baby. Bring them back. Perpetuum. Mobile? Is that how you say that? Perpetuum? I don't know how you say that. More big red box. We got Putt Putt Saves the Zoo. Play that. Retro Bowl. This game has piqued my interest. So this game looks like...
Is this the football game?
Yes, that's what
This
is.
is the game I told you about months ago.
Yeah, but it was on the phone. Now it's on the Switch.
Okay.
Now I'll play
it's
it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's coming to Switch, so I'm down for this.
I don't know how well it will work on the Switch, because the mechanic is almost like Angry Birds in terms of throwing the football. So I'll have to see how they play that out on the Switch.
Huh. Well, I might check it out. It's probably cheap. It's probably like $5 or something.
No, I'm sure it is.
Spy Fox in Dry Cereal. Sword of Ellipsia. Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection. Welcome to Elk.
I have a weird question because I've never played a Valis game, but I know that they went into like porn. Does that collection include the weird porn shit that was like after?
I mean, it's on the
'Cause
Switch.
if so, he wants to buy it.
What?
I said, because if so, you want to buy it.
No, I'm more curious of like, do people know that it contains the weird porn shit? If it does, like, I've seen people be like, "Oh, I'm glad Valis is back." I'm like, Valis went places.
Valis was on TurboGrafx, PC Engine back in the day.
And then got some Genesis games too.
Yeah, this I don't know if this has got it is a collection, right? So the Phantom Soldier collection. Was there more than one Phantom Soldier? I'm looking at the screenshots. I don't see no porn. I just see the old side scroller like Valis 1 through 4. I don't know. I don't know what's in it. I know Limited Run Games is doing it. Physical release.
So could very well include the porn games.
Absolutely. Are you going to buy Plumbers Don't Wear Ties when it comes out on the Switch?
You know, fucking the fact that people at Limited Run was like, "Josh, why are you doing this?" is still.
Dude, that I remember playing Plumbers Don't Wear Ties when it came out. Okay, and the only reason that game sold is because kids were like, "Ooh, I get to see boobies," and there's like not any in it. Like
no, like you get to see cleavage in
A
that. And
butt.
I only know that from the Angry Video Game.
Well, there's
nerd
also
video.
the code to take away the black bars, but then you just see the butts.
And most of them are men's, isn't it?
Yeah, because the dude's taking a shower.
fucking,
Yeah. But it's all just JPEGs.
Everyone-
It's very low res
everyone-
JPEGs.
Everyone in that, I'm not gonna call it a game because it's not. Everybody in that should feel ashamed.
I mean, yeah.
Shame.
So ring the bell walking down the street. Shame. Shame. All right. Blackberry Honey. Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition, finally coming to Switch.
Blackberry Honey absolutely sounds like it would be a folksy country song released in 2014.
See, in my head, it was like Blackberry Honey, ha ha ha, Blackberry Honey, nah, nah, nah. That's what's going on in my head. Pendula Swing, the complete journey, Pinball Frenzy, and Word Chef. Those are your video games coming out on the Switch.
I don't know what it is about my life that makes me instantly connect everything to a song, but as soon as you said Word Chef, I immediately started singing that to the Love Shack song.
Word Chef.
Word Chef, baby. Yep.
I mean, music is timeless. I mean, we can't.
It's true.
All right, it's news time. I got a late entry that's going to make Anthony's eyes roll so far in the back of his head he can't stand himself. Overwatch 2 might be sooner than you think.
Sounds like a threat.
Hold on, my eyes aren't gonna roll. I just don't. I don't think it's gonna be good.
Well, here's the thing. So they're like, and the people like really pay attention to this kind of stuff. So there's a server number on Battle.net, and there's a dev server for Overwatch, and it updated to 2.0 in the past week, which means there's a version of Overwatch 2 on Battle.net. So people are thinking there's a beta coming soon. We do have the 6-year anniversary of the game coming up in May, which just reminded me that I've been playing this game for 6 years. And supposedly this year's Overwatch League will be played in Overwatch 2, so it's looking more and more like we're going to get a bunch of Overwatch 2 news very soon. I promise it's the last time I'll talk about the Microsoft first-party IP Overwatch during the show, which is still a weird thing for me to say. Man, I totally blacked out there for a minute. Yacht Club Games did their direct, quote-unquote, this week, and they announced a new game, which looks like a very spiritual successor, like Shovel Knight was like a Mega Man kind of inspired game. Their next game, Mina the Hollower, looks like Link's Awakening. It looks good. No, nothing? Nobody? Nope.
Nothing.
They did promise that Shovel Knight is not in it, though. So there is that. Which I think will make the first video game since 2017 that Shovel Knight has not been in. So. I'm surprised Anthony doesn't have anything to say about this. It is the 25th anniversary. What's that?
Nothing.
Am I losing my mind? Is Anthony just gone?
He's on mute, it appears.
Oh, okay. I guess he doesn't have anything to say. Final Fantasy
I
VII.
don't.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say.
I feel like I'm just like hanging here and waiting to have a conversation.
Man, what
and
do you
nobody's
want me
talking.
to say? Like hey, successful company is kickstarting another game.
Well, they're not. Well, they have a Kickstarter, but the game's already funded. They're just using the Kickstarter for other shit. I don't know what it was.
That seems weird.
I'm not gonna. 100%. That seems weird.
And like, okay, how far away is the game? You know, like I'm at the point in life. This is not even just them. It's just like, just don't even tell me a game is coming. Just put the game out. I'm good.
Speaking of games that are never coming out, Final Fantasy VII is now celebrating its 25th anniversary, and the developers have promised that there will be news about Part 2 by the end of the year. Again, nobody cares. Warcraft is getting a mobile title later this year. You want to play Warcraft on your phone?
If it's good, I'll play it.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out. That's their next
I
mobile
enjoy
endeavor.
Warcraft.
Did that Diablo game ever actually come out, or just on beta?
Nope. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I'm just curious, because I know there was a lot of talk about that game, and then there was zero talk about that game, so... this week's update of delays. Suicide Squad has been quietly delayed into 2023. Shocker, 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 I know.
Sorry, were you talking about the Diablo mobile game?
Yeah, was it Diablo Eternal
Yeah,
or
it
something
still
like
says Immortal.
Immortal.
It still says pre-register. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that might be dead in the water.
All right. According to a report that came out this week, Stadia internally has been deprioritized. It's going to be rebranded as Google Stream, and it's going to be licensed out to other companies to stream their games as opposed to being its own platform. Your thoughts?
It's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do.
I will echo that thought.
Yeah, I know. When I saw the story, I had literally tweeted "shocked" in all capital letters. And yet there were still people out there who were holding on. They're like, "It's not dead. It's not dead. It's not dead." I was like, I don't know if you know this, but the death certificate was like a year ago. That service is... The technology is amazing. It works. But dude, when you're blowing large amounts of cash to get games on the service that have been on like other services for 2 years,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything to advance your cause here. Rockstar broke the internet by saying GTA 6 was officially in development and has been for a while. That thing saw 500,000 likes on Twitter. Think about that. Just them saying we're working on it. You know what I mean?
I just
Yeah.
don't care until it's out.
Yeah, that shit is
Is
crazy.
it like what is 6 going to be?
Well, they have a reputation for not releasing too much detail about the game until it's almost ready to come out. So I would expect something. If they're deep in development, as deep in development as they say they are, and it's going to come out, say, next spring, let's just assume, then you'll probably hear something in the fall. And if it's going to come out next fall, you'll probably hear something next spring.
And I should specify. I'm curious to know if it's going to be a more online thing.
I don't know. Like, do you kill GTA 5 online and start anew, or do you just keep that and make a new single-player game? I guess is the big question.
I'm guessing you keep that and make a new single-player game.
I think people are going to want to play online in the new map.
Well, here's the thing. This ties into another story I have, which is that the next-gen versions have a date now. They're out in March.
Yeah, I don't think GTA Online... I think GTA Online is a separate thing. I mean, they've already split it out. You can just download GTA Online, can't you?
I think so.
I know you can with Red Dead.
Yeah, I know Red Dead has a separate executable that you can download that's just online. I'd imagine GTA has to have that, right?
Yeah, I don't know, because I never really got into either for their online.
I don't know. I don't know if I saw in the release about the GTA 5 coming to Series X and PS5. Are they charging for that? I'd assume they are.
The upgrade?
Yeah, so like
I
if you have the
don't know.
Xbox One version or PS4 version, do you get like an upgrade, or is it free,
That's a
or do
good
you have
question.
to?
I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know if they put that out in the statement, but that would be good information to know because, goddamn, if they make GTA 5 on Series X and PS5 a whole other $60 price tag, fuck, that game's about to sell another 1 billion copies and make them all kinds of money.
Yep,
Anyway.
crazy.
All right, the last news stuff I have is all Sony all the time. They put out a lot of stuff this week. So we'll start with Gran Turismo 7. There was a state of play. It was like 40 minutes. I watched it to see if I could, get myself into being excited about Gran Turismo 7. And all I got from that state of play was that people really want to fuck cars. Like, man, I don't know.
I
Did you guys...
suggest people watch the movie Titan. Then.
Oh, I heard about that. Dude, what the fuck?
The French.
I mean, I remember
George
watching...
wrote a song about it
Yeah, that's true.
called People Are Strange.
What was that that TV show, like the weird things people do, like the one lady ate like detergent or
Oh,
something?
that horseshit show, yeah.
Yeah, there was one about
My
a dude
Weird
in
Obsession
his...
or something like that.
Yeah, there was one about a dude in his car, and like he would lay underneath the car and kiss it and stuff. And...
Yeah, My Weird Obsession car, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those people all faked it to be on television.
I mean, maybe.
There's
but...
some that are so weird, I'm like, man, no one's admitting this, and like, yeah, no.
Did either of you guys watch the Gran Turismo State of Play?
No, I did not. I heard it was amazing, but I did not.
No, it absolutely is amazing, and I was tweeting about it. There's a sequence in that State of Play where Yamauchi, I think that's how you say his name, right? The main guy. He basically gave... Yeah, that's... Thanks, Anthony, for that picture. Thank you. He was giving like a meteorology lesson about how the weather in the game is truly like dynamic and will change like the tire pressure and the road conditions and like how your tires wear down based on if the road is hot or wet or whatever. And I'm just like, God damn. This is almost too much, man. I will say that the game is beautiful, and if you're into, like that super simulation, like I've never been a Forza guy. Like the main Forza games, I think they're fun, but I don't really get into all that car tweaking, realism, having to stop in the pit and get gas and all that shit. Like that's not for me. That's never been my jam. But I'll check out Gran Turismo 7. I mean, it looks really good. They also had another state of play, which was like boom. It really wasn't a state of play. It was more like a feature. It was about Ghostwire Tokyo, and they're like, bam, it's coming out in like 2 months. So Ghostwire Tokyo launches on March 25th. They showed a whole bunch of the game. I still don't know. Like, I guess it's just a first-person action game where you're knocking out yokai. Looks pretty fucking wild. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the next game from Tango Gameworks, so there is that. Sony also announced that they have 10 live service games that are in development. And this came on the heels of the fact that, well, let's talk about the biggest story of the week. Sony bought Bungie.
I have no idea why.
It's weird, right? Because, like, Bungie was owned by Microsoft, and they left to be independent. And then they were owned by Activision. They left to be independent.
Right.
Now they're owned by Sony. Okay.
Yeah, it's very weird. It feels like there's got to be some reason why there was mutual interest there that maybe we just don't know about yet, like potential funding for a new project that's not Destiny. But yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I don't like that. I think the statement came out and they were like, this is like we're looking for Bungie's expertise in live service games and stuff like that, and like maybe like you said, maybe Bungie's like, okay, well, to be financially secure for Destiny going forward, like let's get bought and have that financial backing because
Yeah.
the
And it gives them, maybe it gives them, maybe that gives them an opportunity to, have funding and stuff to make something else, and to have multiple games running at the same time. But it definitely, there's got to be something else there that we just don't know about yet, because on the surface it doesn't make much sense. And again, it's more consolidation, which I'm not a fan of. Although Bungie obviously is nowhere near the size of Activision Blizzard, but still.
I mean, the only IP they come with, I think, because I don't even think they own Marathon, but let's say they do. So you get Marathon, that alive and well IP, and then you get Destiny, and that's it. Like, so it's not an IP purchase.
It's also not an exclusive.
It's an expertise. It feels like it's an expertise purchase.
Right, yeah. So it's a talent purchase, essentially.
Yes.
And that's fine, but like, I don't think.
Well, so here's the way I'm viewing it. Here's kind of where my head's at on it. Is the one, so Sony has some killer first-party games, but what they don't have is a killer online shooter that's exclusive to their platform. And so if they feel like online shooter is a gap in their gaming platform, then it makes sense to try to buy a studio that has people who have expertise making online shooters, right? Like, and you're not going to find anybody better at that than Bungie. I mean, they did Halo and Destiny, which are two of the biggest online shooters that have ever been created. So it feels to me like this is a purchase to fill an expertise gap that Sony doesn't have in their existing portfolio. But
it's weird because they really stressed in the press release about this that they're not going exclusive.
Well, they said Destiny's not going exclusive.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they can't use the expertise at Bungie to build something that is exclusive.
I mean, maybe, but let's be realistic about a timeline for that.
Oh, well, sure. None of this is done for, releases tomorrow.
I'm just curious because in the release they also said that Bungie stays autonomous and can release everything multiplat, which was also a weird thing to stress in an acquisition.
And unless so there's two pieces at play here, I think. And again, this is just a read from the outside. There's what does Bungie as a studio make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the other side of this, which is Sony has stressed over and over again, multiple times, that one of the things they like is collaboration between the studios that are under Sony as a holding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they like having the folks at Insomniac and San Diego and all those different studios that they own to be able to work collaboratively and help give each other ideas. And so there's what Bungie makes, which they can make whatever they want. And then there's, hey, Sony is giving you money, which every dev studio in the world will take, to help them with this problem or with this game or with this genre. And there's part of me that wonders if they don't feel like that with some of the folks at Guerrilla, some of the folks at Insomniac, and some of the folks at Bungie, they couldn't come up with a really strong online shooter that would be exclusive to their system. And again, it's not going to get built tomorrow, but it really does feel to me like they're trying to stack experience.
You've heard it here first, guys. Meg 2.
Mag 2.
Yes.
Jesus.
No, and to anyone, by the way, because I saw this a couple times, to anyone who thinks that this purchase is a response to the Activision Blizzard purchase, you're crazy.
Yeah,
Because
no.
anything like this would have been in discussion months ago.
Well,
right?
I'll say something like even so I can get my dig in. Really, let's be honest. There was no rumblings about the Activision acquisition. None. All your insider nonsense. Not once was Activision thrown out. Right? So, first of all, stop trusting those people. They're generally wrong. There's very few that are believable, and that's because they are known to have people on the inside that they get information from, but even they didn't know about this. If there was rumblings, I would have believed the fact that, yes, this was a move made in response to rumors. But because of that not being there, no, this was in talks, and this just happens to be a strange coincidence that things worked out. Now, Bungie may have, I don't know who approached who about the situation. That's also important to realize. Like, PlayStation may have approached Bungie for purchase, or Bungie may have been offered themselves up for purchase, and PlayStation is the one that had the best deal.
Yeah,
Definitely possible. Either scenario is definitely possible, and it's also possible and probably probable that there could have been parts of this deal that were still in negotiation that got pushed across the finish line quicker because of everything that went down with Activision Blizzard. That's definitely in the realm of possibility.
That too.
But
yeah.
But what I will say is if it was a purchase because Sony felt like they had a gap on their system of online shooters and they felt like Bungie was the best way to fill that with a first party game, it turns out to be incredibly forward thinking, because now there's a risk that the biggest online first person shooter isn't going to be on your platform anymore.
Yeah, within the next couple of years, yeah.
Right. So it works out well if the plan is use the expertise at Bungie along with some of the expertise at your other studios to build something exclusive, because Call of Duty's not going to be on your platform anymore. And the other thing is, I mean, with the way the industry is consolidating, and again, as a gamer, I don't like it. I don't want all this consolidation to be happening. But with it happening, both of these guys, Microsoft and Sony, are going to try to get as much expertise on board to make exclusives in-house as they can, because it's getting to a point where you're not going to be able to trust that the third-party games are going to be third-party by the time they release, or by the time the next one releases, at least, because the consolidation is happening all over the place. So we're going to get back to a point. It felt like for a while there, every major game was third-party, and the first-party stuff was, pretty minor. And now we're going to get to a point where the big stuff is all first-party, which sucks, because then if you're somebody who can't afford both systems, then you're stuck playing only some of them and not all of them.
Yeah, and you start to wonder who had the more forethought on it. Like, with Microsoft buying up all these IP, they're going into a service that's $10 a month.
Yeah.
And that's huge for them. Like, Overwatch, Diablo, Crash Bandicoot, Call of Duty, on top of Gears of War, Forza, Halo. $10 a month. These games are yours. I don't know, man. It's and let's be fair, it's not done. Like, there were quotes that came out this week. Jim Ryan said, "Expect more," and I don't know if you saw the quote from the Microsoft CEO after they bought Activision Blizzard. His quote was, "Who's next?" So,
Yep.
It's like, well, I don't know, man. I don't like. I'm like you. I was all for Crash Bandicoot on Xbox before Microsoft owned it. Like, that's cool. I was all for Halo on PlayStation. That's cool. It's never going to happen, but that would be cool. Minecraft everywhere. But now, I don't know. I don't know how this stuff's going to play out. Like, I'm kind of two minds, too, because like you said, as a gamer, you're not for it, whereas I'm a Game Pass subscriber, so I am for more games being in the service. 100%, absolutely.
Well, for sure, yeah.
But the thought of, like, Diablo 4, and I know it's not, but the thought of Diablo 4 only being on PC and Xbox and not on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, I don't like that. I want the games on every console, and I want crossplay on every console so that we can all play together. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a weird time. Crash Bandicoot is an Xbox mascot, and Sony owns the Halo makers. Go fucking figure out 2022. Jesus. Anyway, that's all the news I got for this week. The only tweet I have is from the middle of the week. Mookie says, "Am I living in 2008 again? Because Puzzle Quest 3 is coming out March 1st.
Puzzle Quest.
Can't believe they didn't make it to Puzzle Quest 3 already. Like why the delay? Like, I mean, seriously, Puzzle Quest 2 is old. Like, it was on the DS.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
It's a very weird thing that you would figure, like, what inspired that gap of time? Like, and why now, I don't know.
Why not? I mean, we seem to be able to get.
It's just a very weird thing to have, like, a series that was going well, not a series that was dead and has been revived 20 years later.
I mean, we seem to get every old game coming back now, except for Legacy of Kain. That's the theme of this episode. Legacy of Kain.
Yeah, that's the theme of this episode.
Legacy of Kain.
That's been the theme of my life for the last 20 years.
Right?
Well, I'll say it. Where is my Bob game? Like, I want Bob too.
Bob? You mean B.O.B.?
It's Bob.
Well, I know, but it's
just
an acronym,
yes.
right? What's it stand for?
Nothing.
Bob doesn't
just
stand
Bob.
for anything?
Nope.
What was that say? Oh, Vector Man. That's what I'm thinking of. That got a sequel.
Yeah,
Vector Man did get a sequel, yeah?
Vector Man is not great.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
Neither
not.
is Bob, but I like Bob.
It got a lot of Vector Man got a lot of press at the time because of the way it looked.
Yeah, those like what was that like that parallax scrolling or whatever was going on in that game. So everybody on this show has that game, right? So Anthony's is apparently Bob.
Yes, or Space Funky Bob in Japan.
Oh, well, dude, if you bring it back, it better be called Space Funky
Yeah, the
Bob.
title's much better.
I don't like the game is okay. I just like the character because he's basically just some like surfer dude that wrecked his dad's car, but he's also a robot, and that gives him some ability to have guns.
God damn,
Sure,
when
fuck it.
you said surfer dude, I immediately went to Green Dog.
Yeah, Green Dog. That game sucked. That game
God,
sucked
that
so
game
bad.
was so bad. Oh.
Here's one that's a little bit more realistic because Bob is in the EA back catalog, so nothing's ever going to happen with
Hey,
it. But
James
Kid
Pond
Chameleon,
made it out,
James Pond isn't owned by EA.
but
that's
it
why.
used to be owned by EA. They published the Genesis
no,
games.
They only published the Genesis games. Though.
Yeah.
Bob was published strictly by EA.
Ugh.
Kid Chameleon, we almost Lizard Cube wanted to pitch the idea of a remake in their art style. Fuck Kid Chameleon. I love the designs of those characters. The game is good.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past anything. Like, I feel like we've seen the resurgence of so many old games at this point. Like, I mean, fuck, Anthony, I'm playing Power Slave right now on my Xbox Series X. That's fucking crazy. to me.
That's Night Dive, and that's Stephen Kick, and Stephen Kick has a huge fascination with old shooters. Thank God.
Tell me, thank God. Do you realize, between Shadow Man, Quake, fucking Turok 1 and 2, and now Power Slave?
Turok 1 and 2, they're also the ones that did Strife.
And Forsaken. We keep forgetting Forsaken came out, too.
Hold on. I'm just gonna...
Keep bringing me old N64 / that era.
I want to say they're also the ones that did the Fox and Sly Fox and stuff.
Oh, man.
Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, Pajama Sam is them too.
See, this is the shit, man.
Quake. Here's the rundown of what's there on Moby Games. Quake, Shadow Man Remastered, Doom 64, Sin Gold, Blood Fresh Supply, Forsaken Remastered, Metal Fatigue, Titanic Adventure Out of Time, Turok 2, Space Rogue, Starship Titanic, Knights of the Sky, D, Commander Keen, Keen Dreams, Womb,
Love Commander
Room,
Keen.
Yeah.
Star-Lord, System Shock Enhanced Edition, Noctropolis. Fuck, man, there's so many games. Spirits of Xanadu.
They need to bring Blood Fresh Supply and Sin to consoles. That's what I need. Blood was a
I wonder
great game.
if they owned the Sin IP, because if they own the Sin IP, could I get more episodes?
You're never getting
Fuck.
another episode of that.
Fucking-
I just want the original Sin. That sounds bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I want that back in, what was that mech first-person shooter from that era? Shitogi? Is that what it was called?
Are you talking the one that was Monolith?
Yeah, Monolith did it. Oh, what was that one called?
I think it's just
Shogo. Shogo, that's what it was. That's
Mobile Armor Division.
yes, Shogo was fucking great.
And they've been trying to do No One Lives Forever, but the rights are fucking a nightmare.
Yeah, the rights are probably owned by some dude in an office somewhere that doesn't even know
I
it's
think
a
it was
video
owned by a
game.
lady. Parts of the rights were owned by some lady out in the middle of nowhere at one point in time.
Such a weird thing. Speaking of
Yeah.
old shooters, did you see the original voice actor for Lo Wang from Shadow Warrior died?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
What? I'm going to ask a question. He was white, right?
He was white and chubby. So yeah.
Perry of the time.
because if you go back and play that game, it's ooh.
Oh, you don't know Wang. I was oh.
Do you want to wash Wang or do you want to watch Wang wash Wang? God damn, that game was fucked up. The new ones are good though. That's another game coming out soon, right? Shadow Warrior 3?
Yeah, those games don't have there's no consistency between the game.
This one's got a grappling hook though, so
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very Doom Eternal.
yeah. That sounds like fun to me, man.
Halo's got a grappling hook now too. It's like everybody's got to have a grappling hook.
Y'all motherfuckers don't put the respect on Rico's name. Man, he was the grappling hook.
He was the grappling hook king first.
And
Yeah.
they Halo is clearly taking inspiration from Rico.
Oh man, Rico, remember tying shit together and like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
Pulling yourself along in a parachute.
Yeah.
You should have been able to grapple stuff together in Halo. That would have made that game even better.
Oh yeah, grapple two grunts together or something. Watch them smack
Yeah.
into each other. That'd have been rad.
They should add that in, since it's going to be a
They
fucking
just start running.
infinite game as a service.
Yeah,
They're running away from each other, but because they're tethered, they're going nowhere.
exactly. Like that's and they hear them
I like
talking.
that.
That'd be great.
Then you just run up and kick one of them, and the other grunt fall.
do it. Make upgrades to the grappling hook. I'm 100% down for it. Make that game stupid. I want it to be stupid. Oh man, you know what else I just realized? This year is the 30th anniversary of the original Mortal Kombat. Something's got to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the question?
So do we finally
You-
see that Mortal Kombat Anniversary Collection remaster, or?
Perhaps.
Oh man, that would be so good. 1, 2, and 3, baby. Mm.
I have a slight question. Did you guys talk about the Halo trailer? Was that
Oh,
The
the
TV
TV
trailer?
show?
No, we did not.
No, we didn't talk about that. I watched that. Was during the championship game. It happened after the show went off.
every single looked pretty decent until I saw Cortana and went, what?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Cortana design either, but the rest of it looked really, really good.
It's very Uncanny Valley. Like, I'm not even
Yeah.
complaining about not being blue, because I don't think that's going to help anything. It's literally like, something's off. Like,
Yeah, it looks bad, and
Yeah.
considering the level of CG that we've got today,
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett says hi. Holy shit.
yeah,
in the video game. The video game version of Cortana.
yeah.
Put that one in there.
I mean, I will 100% watch that. Like, it looked good.
It looks
Because
great,
the-
yeah, and
the
I
Elite
don't
looked fantastic.
mind that they're telling a different story, because I think, again, as I mentioned before, it's a different medium, so I don't expect the story to be the same.
No, I'm
Is it a
okay
different
with
story?
Yeah, it's slightly different in terms of how they discover the Halo and all that stuff.
that. You know there'll be
Okay.
some fucking neckbeard out there that's pissed about that, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't believe I used to use the word neckbeard. What
I was
the
gonna
hell?
say, all I could think of was when you said that, and like, there's gonna be some neckbeard out there upset. I'm like, well, tell him to take a shower.
Tell them to get a razor is what I would say.
Yeah, true story.
Ugh. Yeah, no, it's. I find it
Sure.
funny. I find it funny that there's like so many people are like angry right now, and I'm like, dude, do you realize how like awesome it is right now? Like, we got Star Wars TV shows.
Yeah,
We got like 50 games coming out a week. Usually, even if 20% of them are good, that's pretty fucking rad.
yeah.
Like, we can literally stream anything we want to watch on demand, and they're making so much nerd shit now. Like, this is the shit we dreamed about when we were kids. Like, why isn't there, these Spider-Man movies? Why aren't these, like, fucking... How come we don't have Star Wars TV shows where they're, like, exploring the rest of the universe? Or, like, could you imagine as
Yeah,
a
there's
kid...
so much great nerd shit out there right now.
Yeah, could you imagine as a kid if they told you they were making a fucking 8-episode run of a Moon Knight show? You'd have been like, what?
Who the fuck is Moon Knight? Is what would have happened.
Exactly, but now we're at the point where that is a thing. Like,
Yep.
Jesus, we have a TV show about a Star Wars character that's in the movie for all of 2 minutes. Okay?
Yep.
Boba Fett was in the movie for 2 minutes.
I wish I cared more about Star Wars.
Ugh. It's crazy to me,
Yep.
man.
Also, Sin is supposed to have a remaster from Night Dive coming.
The original Sin?
Not the original Sin, but Sin. Yes.
The first game.
Yes. I was making a joke about original Sin. Come on. You'd already made it. I was just following up, Ken.
Yeah, you see, you leave my jokes hanging. I'll ignore yours.
Okay, well, at least mine was a throwback to something that was relevant in the conversation.
That's quality comedy. Is when you do a callback to an earlier joke. That's quality comedy. You have to do that.
Fuck you, Ken.
I was
It's
paying
also
you a
quality
compliment.
comedy.
Jesus. So much anger. So much hate.
Yep.
Dark side are these.
He's speaking of Star Wars.
See, that's a callback.
Yeah, it's a callback.
Oh, alright. I don't have anything else. Oh, I did eat that Batman pizza. Did you fucking see that thing?
It's the half calzone, half pizza.
Shaped like a bat? Yeah.
Well, okay, that's very. It's not shaped like a bat. It is vaguely Batman logo shaped.
Dude.
Vaguely.
Holy shit, that thing.
You ate that pizza and you're still alive is a testament.
Exactly. That was my thought. Like when we got it and I opened it up and like it is just caked in grease, man. Holy shit.
Ugh.
It was tasty. I won't lie, it was tasty, but it is just the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm just like, really?
Tone, by the way, of that comment at the end of our video game podcast was very much like, you ever see somebody that you were like acquaintances with 20 years ago, and you run into them at the store or something, and you end up next to them in line, and you run out of stuff to talk about in like 30 seconds? That was very much the tone of, I eat that Batman pizza. Like, I don't have anything else new going on, so let me tell you about this pizza I ate that's shaped like the Batman logo.
Yeah, fucking right it is. We usually talk about food on the show, so I didn't feel like it was out of
We do.
place.
Yeah, we do. That's long-time listeners will attest. Long-time listener.
But yeah, there is that. Oh, alright. I don't have anything else. Nobody tweeted at us, so what the fuck are you doing? I saw John followed us. I guess he's back on Twitter now.
Apparently, yes, which is good.
Yeah, he's got a new Twitter handle, I see.
Maybe we can get him back on here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like having John on. I probably need to get Terrence on here at some point too, right? He's been doing a lot
Yeah.
of shit.
Probably so. It's
He's
been
the
a
one that's-
long time.
He's also the one playing all the new games.
That's
Yeah.
true. He played Pokemon, he played Sifu, he played
Like, you want fucking games from decades ago or like 5 years ago? Cool.
Right.
Me and Wombat got that covered.
Yeah,
But
we're
if
good.
You want to talk about something that's relevant?
Hey, I talked about a spider game today.
That's true.
I put that on my Steam wish list.
Did you ever play Spider on the PlayStation?
I did, yes.
No.
That game, it's something.
It's something. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Oh, you play as a spider. I see.
Yeah, it's literally called Spider, and it's like 2.5. It's kind of Pandemonium style.
Yep.
Okay, well, is it as good as Pandemonium?
No.
No.
Oh,
Not
okay,
even
well
close.
then let's not even invoke the name of
Wait.
Pandemonium.
Isn't that a first-party Sony game?
What?
Spider.
Doesn't look like it.
I
Give me a
don't
second.
remember.
I thought it was SCEA back in the day.
No, it was Boss Game Studios, published by BMG Interactive, which is now Rockstar.
Oh yeah, BMG. They used to give me cassette tapes.
I think that was the Sony part of that, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Columbia House and BMG. Remember those?
Columbia House and BMG. I do. The
25
Music-
albums for a quarter or whatever it was.
music version of a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
no, it's NFTs.
They were, yeah, I was gonna say they were NFTs before NFTs existed.
Except you got cassette tapes, man.
That's true.
Yeah,
you did
that's
get something tangible out of it.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes. Jesus, I don't know how many times I signed up for that BMG shit.
See, I'm looking at the game Spider, and all I'm thinking of is Deadly Creatures for the Wii.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
got
that's a
that.
great game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey Night Dive.
Oh,
no
Deadly
one
Creatures.
from Night Dive is listening, but
Do you realize
If for
how
some
hard it
reason-
would be to get the license for those two actors, though?
I don't. I think it's just voice. I don't think you have to pay them again.
I think for voice, there's a license in there. There's got to be a license in there because it's Dennis Hopper and Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Yeah. And it was developed by Rainbow Studios and published by THQ. Maybe Nordic has it now.
But it also was a TV show, so I think there's that license as well, right?
No, it wasn't a TV show at all.
I swore Deadly Creatures was a TV show.
No. If it was unrelated.
Yeah, there was something to do with that game and another media property.
Deadly Creatures video game. I swore that was a TV show. I don't know why I think that. I don't know.
Let's look.
It was made by Rainbow Studios.
Dude, Rainbow used to be the shit when they made...
And the only fucking non-racing game that they've made is Deadly Creatures for the Wii.
Dude, Splashdown is still one of the best games ever made. I'll stand by that.
And then they started doing MX versus ATV, and it was all just that.
Well, they did that first. That was what they got famous for.
No.
Yeah, it was the MX games back on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
ATV Off-Road Fury.
That was the Sony game, but they also made MX games back in the day.
But they made... Oh my god. They made ATV Off-Road Fury and ATV Off-Road Fury 2. And then they first released MX Unleashed in 2004. ATV Off-Road Fury is 2001.
They made 4 ATV Off-Road Furies?
They also made...
They only made the first 2.
They also made what?
The Hive.
What the fuck is the Hive? Oh, that's right, that game. And to shut you down, Anthony, they made Motocross Madness. That was where they started.
Well, that's not what you said, Ken.
The MX games, Motocross Madness, the same shit. Motocross. MX stands for Motocross. They made Star Wars Racer Revenge.
They also apparently made Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2000, which stands out like a sore thumb in the rest of their catalog.
No shit.
Yeah, there's that. There's Deadly Creatures, and then Dude's Big Adventure on the Wii through the stupid U tablet.
I forgot they did that Star Wars Racer Revenge. That game was rad as fuck, too. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2, baby. Man, and ever since then, all they've made is MX games and Monster Jam games. What is this? I see Splashdown Rides Gone Wild listed for PlayStation 4? Huh.
Hold on, let's find out.
It's in their TBA. It's in their TBA.
Oh, then it never came out.
Yeah, but that game was way after, or way before PlayStation 4 was even a thought. Rides Gone Wild was a PS2 game.
Yeah, but it was probably gonna be like one of those PS2 on PS4 things. It never came to be.
I would totally kill for Splashdown Collection to come back. I love those games. Alright. I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything else before we get out of here?
No?
No.
Okay. Let me go through my rigmarole. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at N4G Podcast. You want to send us an email, do that. Send it to podcasts@ztgd.com. You can follow us on Twitter. Anthony's at Complacent Robot. I am at ZTGD and Ryan is at WombatRP. Follow the site at ZTGD Content. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And check out Phoenix Down. Running now Yakuza 4. Inscription is complete. They moved on to Kiryu again. So, check that out. Other than that, I don't have anything else, so if nobody else does, we'll get out of here. Peace,
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G Podcast.
It's me, Mario.
$0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat.
I've always lived being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No bad boys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.